You're a yummy Biscoff cream donut. Welcome back to crypto's juiciest news. Bitcoin at around 106,000 American dollars. Here we go, friends. This is the weekly candle. It seems to be nicely pushing up. But if we do have a bit of a pit stop, we aren't surprised this week, just because we've got to keep our emotions in check, because it's been a very, very, very long wait, hasn't it? We are going to be looking at ETH BTC, still on the floor, still doing nothing. I just want to remind everybody that last time ETH BTC was around here, man, it took a long time to actually go up. So I don't know what's going to happen this time, friends. Is this full manipulation and we come back in the range? That's also possible, just to let you know. So if this was a manipulation move, what manipulation means? It just means like it's just a word we use, you know, just whatever. It's just an extreme amount of selling in a fast period of time that is normally inorganic and unnatural. Remember, friends, the scum over there in North Korea. All right, we should basically just nuke that piece of shit land. So the scum in North Korea, they stole the billions of dollars of ETH from Bybit, and you know they helped contribute to this dumping going down here. So maybe we should just like hope that we just kind of like get up here, and then we can like try to play for this area. Really, you and I, we can't actually do anything, but I'm just giving you an idea of like what expectations are out here. And look, I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind, friends, if Ethereum like never goes up on the ETH BTC ratio. Do you want to know why? Because that just means we can just collect it free in the bull market, as you can rotate into that as your safety, because it's really cheap. But I don't think it's going to happen. Ethereum is an altcoin. Ethereum is going to be risk on as everything goes up, and the monthly candle is still here. I know we wanted to keep going up, but you know that's a pretty big monthly candle when you think about it, right? So you know it'd be nice, man, if in the next month of June, if that does like another 50% candle, it's back to like 3,800. Remember, friends, the key level is 3,800 with Ethereum. An extremely important pivotal candle area, 3,800. It's touched there 6 times since 2021. So when we finally get up, there will be the 7th time breaking. And yeah, well, I don't think we're ever coming back until probably the bear market. But you know, just got to be careful with them as well, friends. Look how much we got scammed in 2021. So Ethereum hit 3,800, 1, 2, and then on the 3rd time, look, it went up and it started making this resistance. It started making it support. Look at this. It started holding, and then look what happened. It just went down anyway. So that was really heartbreaking to see. So you know these things aren't 100%. The others BTC candle is still red for the month. We had six red right in a row now, man. So I think we're gonna finish green by the end of it, but it doesn't really matter, right? Look, the only most we ever had was just one green in a row. And Euphoria counts, remember, they build up over and over with each other. And so, you know, I'm not even going to be thinking about what's ahead in terms of danger until we get 3 in a row. But personally, me. Until then, we're going to pump some music. What's going on over there in stocks land? Stocks have retraced all the moves once again and just going to hold around here. We've got some, you know, big AI things that are coming, friends. Like, remember, I told you yesterday in Juicy News, Google McDougal. Okay, I think it's one of my episodes, actually. Google McDougal, one of their chief, like, you know, one of the chief engineer dudes, he said their AI, in about 12 months, it will be able to replace a junior engineer coder. Their AI, their in-house one. So, man, there goes, like, whatever, 10, 20% of your workforce straight away. /Seers, we didn't actually need you. Man, that's wild. Now, you know, a lot of people, it's kind of funny, friends. You hear a lot of people saying, no, don't be a Luddite because it's going to create jobs. Yeah, but AI is moving so fast. The pace it's going to destroy jobs is way faster than what we can make. Way, way, way faster. Right? Because it's like simple. It's like, okay, do I go spend 3 months hiring some dude to go teach him all this stuff, or plug in AI, which go learns everything, and I can just hire somebody to talk to the AI to do stuff? Right? That's probably how things are going to play out. Let's start off with some cracker news, though. Jim Cramer says he adds Bitcoin to the list of government insurance hedges alongside gold. Let's see what he says.
So the idea that you should sell everything because of the debt downgrade is that early warning sign? That makes no sense whatsoever. If anything, it's got to be the opposite. You're being given an early warning to invest more, not more aggressively, but more of what you can save. That's the real hedge if you're worried about the government's creditworthiness, not to get out now. I've always favored gold as insurance against excessive government borrowing, and that has worked well as of late. And when Bitcoin became legitimate, I added that to the roster of what you'll need if nothing good happens with the debt. We have a president that seems to care more about Bitcoin than the stock market, so he's a beacon for buying the stuff.
Very funny, friends. Very funny. Do you remember? Me might not remember. I've got videos on my computer, friends, where Jim Cramer was the final bear signal before we went up. You know that? And I can take you back. I can tell you exactly where it was. It was literally right here. It was down in this moment. Jim Cramer, he basically, I still got it on my computer somewhere. He says, you know the Bitcoin, just the price report? He basically said it was an abomination that MSNBC even have the ticker showing up. He goes like, you wouldn't want to even see the Bitcoin price. And he goes, wouldn't and shouldn't. He says something like that. I'm paraphrasing. He basically says like, you shouldn't even look at the price. That's how bad it is. I'll never forget that. And I'll never forget that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's how bad it got. They're like, hey, but we went up. No. At the time, everyone's calling for lower, and Jim Cramer, fading Sommy, is literally saying you shouldn't even look at that. You shouldn't even display it publicly. The logo, the ticker should not be there. It's going to zero. Now, can you believe it, bro? Now he's saying, yeah, I added it to the list of government hedges, bro. Next to gold. Wow, man, that's just... And what happened in that time period? Price went up. That's it. Price went up. But what would they say? They go, no, the narrative changed. But the economy didn't go in recession. But Donald Trump came in. But Donald Trump likes crypto. Shut up. The price went up. All of those things are nothing. They all fugazi. It's all because the price went up. Because the price went up, now you like it. So that's why my job is to look for stuff that has a cheap price now, that I think is cheap. And I try to imagine in my mind, do people like it if the price goes up? That's another way to look at these things, friends. Here's PulseChain core coin prices, for example, out here. Pretty much everything on this page, if it went up like 10x, everyone would say literally it's the future of finance, which is just like almost everything in crypto, right? PLS as well is still 60% below SAC price, so it's still right here. Just makes you think, friends, what happens if PLS goes to 3x SAC price? Say, if PLS goes to 3x SAC price, you'll be saying, oh, I know what people are saying. But man, we held for 4 years, we're only up like a 3x. You know, I know you're saying that, but you're already in. So how you feel doesn't really matter. It's how everyone else who hasn't bought feels. Okay? You know how Richard calls you future sell pressure? Yes, well, the future buy pressure, they're not in. So they're not, friends, they don't have a memory of SAC price 4 years ago. They can't even compute it in their mind because they were never there. So instead, they're going to get FOMO when your friend Sommy does this. And I said, hey, remember when every influencer in crypto said this thing was a scam? Well, it's up 17x. If you literally thought for yourself for just 5 seconds, you'd have 17 times more money. And guess what? Still getting started. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You're probably immune to language like that, but it doesn't matter, friends, because you're already in. That's why. That's why. The people who aren't in, because they're holding stuff that just not moving, you know? Because here's the thing. When the price goes up, I'll literally be saying, we have 170 content creators. Do you know 72 of them stream? Do you know we have an Ethereum sacrifice treasury, 168,000 ETH now, whatever, 166,000? Do you know we survived minus 99%? Do you know Richard Hart got the top 5% of results? He beat the SEC. Do you know he has the same lawyers as Elon Musk, Donald Trump? Do you know we have 3 conferences per year? PulseChain conference, Hex conference, right? Suddenly they all start to hit because they're like, they're listening to the words and the green candles are here. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I got to pay attention. And then people get into a frenzy of dip buying, which is what happens, you know. Hopefully that's the next push up. See, it sounds easy, but it's not. You need belief, though. You know, that's the easy part. The easy part is the business cycle takes you up and there's green candles everywhere. But what's the hard part? The hard part is doing what we do now. It's not knowing when the business cycle is going to turn up and turn around. Okay, that's the hard part. It's the unknown. It's the risk, right? Remember, altcoins and Ethereum follow the business cycle, which has still not turned up, you know. Look, maybe the next cycle, friends, maybe in the next cycle, they, you know, 2028, 2029, maybe the rate that the government debases is slower rate than what they have now. And maybe the business cycle is just, it pushes up healthier. So they don't need to debase as much, right? I know you're looking at that like impossible. No, I'm just telling you anything's possible. And by the way, what would that mean? That would mean Bitcoin dominance goes down in the Bitcoin halving year again. That's what it would mean. It would mean we have some sort of like 2028 alt season of sorts. But, you know, I'm just always thinking about the future because like we get excited to learn all these like, you know, these pieces of information and how crypto works and stuff. But yeah, we're going to focus on what we have right now. So Circle, friends, is being pursued by Coinbase and Ripple to try buy out the USDC business, C for cuck. So I've got to confirm here again, stablecoin supercycle. They want Circle USDC. I don't know who's going to win it, but I've heard like Ripple's got a higher bid, but like Ripple, where do you get your money from? They've got $1.1 billion in cash. What are you going to pay them in? XRP tokens? It'll be funny if they actually did and then just dump on a community. It'll be actually funny. I hope that actually happens, by the way. Because then if they survive through that, it just tells you like, if you have a community, you just win no matter what. That'll be good. But USDC actually has a crappy business as well. I think their margin for issuing the stablecoin is very low compared to Tether. Because I think maybe they have to go through Coinbase and Coinbase takes the margin. I forgot exactly how it works. Speaking of stablecoin supercycle, here is PDI. It's starting to move up a bit. It's actually no longer 500x away to $1. It's like 435x. That'd be great. So the retailer point, friends, remember when I made my PDI videos, I got more excited here. I mean, I was excited the whole time, but then I got more excited up here because at 1 cent, it's really easy for everybody to compute what that means in their mind. It's like Hex when it hit 1 cent. And then they're like, oh, they can automatically, they know what 1 cent is, they know what $1 is. So that's why I expect the acceleration of mindshare if it gets back to 1 cent again. The real first achievement, though, you want to talk about the lowest achievement, we got to get to 0.003 right here. That is about if you check it out, that's about a 40% move. Here is where Catty committed a homicide against PDI and killed it, sent it to 0 for the second time. All right, she didn't do it the first time, but, you know, PDI has gone to 0 second time. And then the next one will be the Richard Hart boss level that we've got to basically take on after that. So it's 40% away, then we'll continue there. And remember, we are all basically just slingshot leverage on PLS starting to move up as well. That's nice. It's a weekly chart as well. Got quite a while to go. Remember, the Interpol is around here. So if we can get to 75% sack price, then that is really good. That means like the Interpol damage has been removed out here. In some other news as well, Genesis have sued DCG and Barry Shillbert to try and claw back $3.3 billion. So they allege that there was fraud, insider enrichment, and concealed fund transfers in the bankruptcy. So this is Barry Shillbert on the right. Now, why I'm bringing this up here for you, friends, is I want to take you back. So this, nobody had heard of these people, okay? No one heard of them. We knew who Barry Shillbert was, but no one had heard of Genesis. So Genesis, one of the first earliest Bitcoin brokers. So how people would actually manipulate Bitcoin is Genesis had like stash of like whatever, 100,000 BTC. And so someone would borrow like 30,000 BTC off them. They'd borrow it. And they probably had big money connections. Then they'd send it to the exchanges and they would dump it. And they'd send Bitcoin down. But before they would dump it, they'd probably have like futures short positions as well on like probably on Binance. It wasn't as big back then. BitMEX, probably like Bitfinex and stuff out here. Yeah, so that's what they were doing because you could do that, right? Now, obviously, the conspiracy part of you wants to come out and they're like, hey, was it US Fed related? Was it bank related? It could have just been somebody who just really wanted to crush this thing because they just saw how thin it was. It could have been that, right? Now, what actually ends up happening is Genesis get into a bit of trouble because they became one of the the scary liquidators of Bitcoin in the bottom here. They went bankrupt. That was one of the bear market narratives. And what I want to show this to you is I clearly remember on Twitter, I was like, guys, I know it's really bad right now. I go, but you have to be buying this stuff. And I said, look how irrational your fear is. You didn't even know who Genesis was 60 days ago. And now, oh, Genesis is selling and they're getting bankrupt. They're going to sell all the Bitcoin and send it to lower, right? And it never went down lower, right? It was all happening at the lows. That's why everybody expected, $5 grand, 10 grand BTC. And then we went up from there. So now we're looking at it, everyone's like looking back and laughing. But hey, the same thing's going to happen in the next bear market. Some company's going to get liquidated and they're probably going to have too much BTC on the balance sheet. And I'm probably, if we're still around, we'll be saying, hey, you did not know who the hell these people were literally 60 days ago, It's kind of funny you're confident now because you sat through so much. But, it's different. If you send your portfolio up 15x and then you drop 80%, right? Yeah, you feel really nervous at that point because everyone's like, it's going to keep getting worse, right? So we're going to make it, friends. We are going to make it. Robinhood submitted an SEC proposal to regulate tokenized real-world assets, aiming to bring Wall Street on-chain and unlock a $30 trillion market. Very big, very beautiful. When we do any discussion of real-world assets, it's all Ethereum, just to let you know. It's literally all Ethereum. Yeah, there's some Solana stuff out here. Got a basic network effect of people circling the drain, playing the JPEG casino, but most of it's Ethereum. The stable coins, Ethereum got 55% of it. Now, of course, Ethereum's not going to win everything, but there are pieces shared around, right? And liquidity and stuff will move around. But just showing it's all EVM business cycle stuff out here. And yeah, it actually is big potential, right? Standard Charter's Jeff Kindick has said the SEC's 13F filings show rising exposure to Bitcoin via proxies like MicroStrategy, supporting a $500,000 Bitcoin target by end of 2028. So I've just personally noticed this again. I'm now starting to see, and so are you, more people call for extended cycle, but they're not calling for extended next year. It's 2028. So Arthur Hayes has always had that. Michael Saylor's obviously never believed in a 4-year cycle anyway. You're seeing guys like this saying 2028. So it's just interesting, isn't it? Isn't it, friends? Think about how much of a trap would it be if, let's say, Bitcoin hits 250K this year, right? And in December, just to show you something that can happen. Let's say it actually does hit 250K, right? In December this year. And then just when, let's say, people who call for the bear market, let's say Bitcoin goes down 30%. Then actually by next year, it's back to 250. What's everyone going to be saying? They're going to be saying 2028, extended cycle. Maybe even have the final alt season around here. And then that might be just when everything's going to come down. Wouldn't that be a perfect trap though? So we actually do extend, but then everyone's calling for, we're going to extend 2027, 2028. They're going to go, see, the 4-year cycle's broken. And then just the next part that happens, they're going to be too drunk on euphoria. That's one way. That's how everyone gets trapped. Remember, friends, we have a very common pattern here. Always trying to see where the crowd is. And you don't have to make big decisions. You're always just on check, right? Where is everyone's weak point? Because you don't know when it's going to happen. But when it does happen, it's going to be monstrously big, right? Because if you are still holding through euphoria, it's another 4-year cycle, wait, or 3 years, whatever it's going to be. Do you even want to bet? You're not going to know when the bottom is, right? So that's why we always pay attention to this. You're always waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like literally whale watching. Yeah, you're whale watching for some big monumental thing. And sometimes when people come out, and the new people that come out, they go, why don't you do the selling and the buying of the up and down? No, okay. That short-term stuff is trader mindset, okay? That is 1% of people win, okay? 1 to 5% of people win, yes? So 95% of people lose in that game, okay? I don't do that game, okay? I do that game, small, tiny size, swing trading. Who cares a shit about it? Okay, 99.9% of my focus is on the real winner, okay? Which is playing the whole cycle, long-term, stacking spot as much as possible, and holding until the end, right? Whatever the end may be. Okay, that's what the game is. That's how you help the most amount of people. It's not even about helping most amount of people. Statistically, that's actually how you win. Okay, it does have, this is the thing, it has the highest win rate. When you go long term, it has the highest win rate. But then you think, if it has the highest win rate, everyone should be winning. No, because not everybody does it. Okay, when you're playing, friends, in a short, let's say you're day trading. Let's say you're day trading one coin. That day, let's say, for example, there's 100,000 people who traded. Okay, 100,000 people. So entities, yeah, and there's hedge funds, there's actual proper traders who like win, and swing traders and bots and all these other 100,000, yeah. So of them, literally only about 1 to 5,000 are like doing well for the day. Okay, in 12 months, yeah, just say let's say 5,000. 5,000 are doing good, 95,000 are losing. Okay, and like they might even have an up day, but they'll be losing over time. Think about this, right? So I'll just show you right here in that example. So trading day, okay, out of 100,000 people, yep, 5% win, 95% lose. Okay, so that's 5,000 people win, and then you have 95,000 people losing. Okay, that's dating, that's short term, yeah. So you even write it out here. We'll write short term. What about long term? Okay, in long term, okay, out of 100,000 people who do it, yes, 95% win. Okay, that's 95,000 people. And then 5% lose. Why? Because they probably, you know, like 5% of people are literally putting, unfortunately, their whole life savings in like a straight up, you know, a BitConnect stuff, a Ponzi thing that just never comes back, right, ever. Okay, which is just, you know, it's unfortunate, but it happens, right? But still, the odds are literally skewed. Yeah. Skewed in your favor here. 5% of people, only 5% of people lose. Look at this, like, right? Now, here's the thing. You're probably saying, oh, why doesn't anybody do this? Well, the thing is, in this long term, out of 100,000 people, it's not actually 100,000 people doing it. It's more like, of all the people participating, it's like 1 million people. You see? 1 million people. So, you know, all these people losing day trading, all of them losing. If they just literally, all they have to do, which I know it's easier said than done, all they have to do is literally just stop trading, DCA buy spot, and then just hold long term. That's it. Stop looking at the daily chart. The daily chart's cancer. Okay. Use weeklies and monthlies. Use monthlies. Okay. Because it inverts. So you can literally turn all of these losers into winners. Do they do it though? No. Because they're so used to the dopamine. They're used to, oh, I need a win every day. I've got to have 10 wins today. That's what happens. And then every time the stock price goes down, stock price, asset, whatever it is, whenever it goes down, they hyper-focus on all the news. And so they think, oh, it doesn't work. It's all a scam. Look, it was up yesterday. Now it's down today. Those people, friends, if you notice, I have no one who talks like that in my community, in my YouTube comments. None of you like that. None of you. We filter those people out. All right. All of you literally just kick those people out because you understand, bro. You are applying a shitty little 1 week time frame to someone who's here to play multiple years, dude. We're literally aiming for a target you can't even see. It's literally you're driving with a blindfold, yeah, and we're driving with a freaking telescope. Literally a telescope. We're driving with a telescope. Do you understand? And you can't explain that to them. They have to be willing to learn. And here's the thing, friends. I don't have any educational courses. I don't sell anything like that anyway. So that's why I don't give a shit, bro. I literally don't care. I have nothing to prove at all. I could not care less, okay? I peg my own nipples on the internet. I wear Pokemon hats. Yes, I have the pointiest elbows in the northern, southern, eastern, and western hemisphere on Earth. But still, it doesn't matter. You're not going to take away that trophy from me. We literally, their opinions don't matter, friends. Markets will pump with or without them. They have to be willing to want to come and see the light themselves. And what even gives my words more of a punch is that, bro, I was a day trader for freaking 10 years, bro. Day trading. I was trading 1 minute price action. I was trading on the TT ladder. Remember TT, friends? It cost like 3 or 4 grand per month just to pay for that piece of shit. TT. Now everyone just has all these order books and stuff out here. So much better back then. But it was back then, different time. It was a different time. Do you understand? I did it every day. I had to untrain myself from this dopamine stuff. It was literally the hardest thing I've ever had to do because it was coming off a drug. I always look back, I go, why was that so hard for me to do it? Why was it so hard? I used to watch Crypto Face, friends, because I was trading on like 1 to 6 minute time frames. I was just scalping. And I would watch Crypto Face. He's still holding a trade and he's been like 18 hours. And I'm like, how does he know? How does he know? I had no idea what the hell he was doing. And then I slowly started, because I really wanted to learn. And I learned, oh, if you increase your time frame, I'll give you an example, friends, because I love you and appreciate you. So I'll just show you certain things I was looking at, right? Let's even look at just here. Good, Peter. So when you're looking here, like you have no idea what the hell's going on. You're like, oh crap, it's going to break down. You have no idea. But then if you just put on a monthly candle, All right. If you literally just looked at a monthly candle, you're like, oh, we've just had like one green candle. And then you're like, oh, let me hold for a couple of more green candles, see what happens. That's as simple as it became, you know. Now, even with us, we're holding longer than that. We're not holding for monthly, it's just the highest we're going to look at. So it was very funny to me, right? After I had learned all these things, that's when I really realized, like, oh, look, man, because I could see everybody wants to come and play with the Game Boys. Everyone, okay? Everyone wants to come. Hedge funds, Citadel, DRW, all the scum market makers, all the exchanges, the amount of like basically vultures coming in to like basically just steal off crypto retailer money, it was growing exponentially. So I just looked at it and I go, okay, look, I got to make a decision. Do I think they're going to get smarter or dumber in the next 5 years? I go, obviously they're going to get exponentially better. They're going to have exponentially better deals. The coins are going to keep changing. I have no idea what the hell's going on. And by the way, we could see it in the price action. Bitcoin's price action was getting harder and harder to basically find short-term edge. Now, friends, I've got a friend, James is trading Bitcoin, but he's only trading like the US session. Europe session's ass to scalp, and so is Asia. Like, we never used to be like that. You just trade 24/7. You see what I mean? It's getting harder and harder and tougher over time. But I could see this years ago from day trading. I know what it's like when the edge gets harder and harder. So I just had to make a decision. I was like, you know what? In 5 years, right? Remember, you have to look at yourself honestly. You go, am I maybe overestimating how much I think I'm going to improve at a rate in 5 years? I go, but here's the thing. If the crypto's opportunity cost is so big, if you're wrong, you've literally given away lifetime retirement. And you know you have. Because you spent all those years trying to shitty trade 2-to-1, 3-to-1 risk and reward stuff. If you don't make it there, because it's very, very low odds, right? If you don't make it, you've literally, what have you wasted? You have wasted the biggest freaking, double bubble alt season, others BTC. You've wasted the push of the cycle. Okay, so that's why I've been through this, man. I know this. And that's why every time, now you know why. Whenever someone comes in like, oh, why didn't you sell and then buy? Why didn't you tell me it was going to go down for those 3 months? But just mute this guy, just move out. Just literally move out. Other news too, friends. President Milei from Argentina shuts down the unit probing the butt of LIBRA crypto scandal. Do you remember that was from, that revealed LIBRA crypto scandal? Remember, we revealed that Hayden Davis dude. It was pretty much like alerted the world Solana was rigged in unimaginable ways. So remember, friends, my poop pyramid casino, I'll show you. So I'm actually very, very proud of this. If you type in poop pyramid into Twitter, I come up. Okay, I made the poop pyramid. Do you remember this, friends? At the top, so what it turned out, it really is just one giant, is a big butthole, and it's just literally liquid diarrhea all over everyone, okay? And it started with the Solana exchange cabal. So Jupiter, Meteora, then they were pooping and they were on the market makers and the token sniper. So basically they were giving everyone deals. Everybody was like snatching all the edge. It went to the LA Vape cabal, the prostitute cabal, Dave Portsoy, and other insider KOLs. They're still doing it today, by the way. And then that went to everyone's open mouths view. And I made this graphic so you can see Greed 2, Trump Coin, Vine, Greed 1, Libra, Melania. Just so I made a graphic for a reason, okay? I made a graphic for a reason so you really gets through your head, okay? The whole thing was rigged. Now, here's the thing. Markets have just rigged themselves anyway. So, but I'm just showing you, man, like, I'm just telling you, dude. Firstly, you know the odds are bad, but now you see why the odds are bad. The freaking decentralized exchange on the decentralized chain was rigged. That was literally like if Richard Hart had a private bot server that was alerted whenever anyone was going to launch any coin on pump tires, and he was front running it. Imagine that. That would be international news. Oh, founder who got done by the SEC is scamming all his followers. Yeah, but okay, why does Solana get to do it? You know why? Because Sol's price went up. So they're like, oh, let it slide. It's just the meme coin casino stuff. That's why. Ethereum's co-founder, Jeff Wilk, has sent $260 million of Ethereum to Kraken. Right? Arkham tracked him. But then look at this. He then withdrew 105,000 ETH into 8 new wallets after depositing. So they tracked him. They found him. He deposited to 8 wallets. What's he gonna be doing? I don't know. He could be just selling along the way. Maybe he wants to sell in parts along the way and just not have everybody like look at this stuff out here. But yeah, we'll see. Also, 85 companies hold 800,000 BTC on their balance sheets. This is it right now. All these companies here. Pretty cool, right? Everyone is holding Bitcoin. They're all doing this. Look at all the FOMO, man. Tesla's only got 11,000, man. They used to have 40,000. So, yeah, they sold like 75% of it. MicroStrategy has, it is not updated, right? MicroStrategy has 596,000 now because they kept buying. So, friends, Michael Saylor is bringing in FOMO in the hearts of everybody. I'm going to show you a clip. Actually, I'll show you the clip now. Just to show you, he's telling everyone, he says in it, he goes, with your profits, don't even buy your own stock. You buy Bitcoin. So this is the FOMO. Hopefully that brings us to 250 or 350K or something. Let's listen.
Bitcoin represents the greatest digital transformation of the 21st century. It represents digital capital. The global wealth is distributed across assets that provide utility and others that preserve capital. But risk is destroying trillions of dollars of that capital every single year. And investors are turning to digital capital in the form of Bitcoin in order to avoid that risk. Digital capital is economically and technically superior to physical capital, and it represents a revolutionary advance in capital preservation. The asset class itself is growing from trillions to hundreds of trillions of dollars, and it is backed by digital power along with political and economic power. Bitcoin's the best asset you can own. The numbers speak for themselves. It makes a lot more sense to buy Bitcoin than to buy your own stock back or to hold Bitcoin rather than holding bonds. If you're going to outperform, you're going to need Bitcoin. Luckily, you have an alternative. Public support for Bitcoin is surging, as is support for the U.S. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve.
Sell them into Bitcoin. That way, we wouldn't have to use any new dollars.
As is Wall Street support.
I believe Bitcoin is legitimate.
And the President of the United States says,
never sell your Bitcoin, right?
That's why we're entering year one of the crypto renaissance. And you have a choice to make. Cling to the past or embrace the future. Divest billions of dollars and slow your growth rate. Invest billions of dollars and
He said, you are entering year one of the... I think this is going to work. I think we're going to get a cracker of a bull market. Did you notice the music was like, ooh, it was like this deep, like the melody of Enya in the background a bit. And it's like you're witnessing like, you know, friends, it's National Geographic. They're watching like, you know, the eagle swoop down and finally, after starving forever, get that fish. It's like meant to, it's just, bro, you're buying an internet Ponzi. See, friends, I can yell as loud as I can, and it's not going to hit anyone because the price is going up. I'm literally, internet Ponzi, no one cares. I hope you learned that as well. When things are going down, just like a lot of altcoins are down, if I'm saying, bro, altcoins are the infrastructure of Bitcoin, no one's listening because the Bitcoin dominance is high. No one's listening. It's kind of funny, man. So, friends, I hope you enjoyed. It's like Bitcoin. It's gonna, bro. It's literally like you've invented space-time, gravity warp tech drive in your garage here. Like it's gonna revolutionize the. Oh man, I love you, Shred. I think that's enough to send us to 250K, isn't it? Get Bitcoin and Ethereum, get Ethereum above 10K. That's enough, and that will be giving more FOMO in the hearts of everyone. Texas, shout out to all my baby dolls in Texas. House advances strategic Bitcoin reserve on the second reading, moving it one step closer to becoming law. So more and more states are going to be adding it and adding it. Once we get all the countries in, all the states in, then we can actually begin, you know, the bear. And then it's going to be fantastic because we'll be ready for it. Elon Musk says StarLink is not allowed to operate in South Africa because I'm not black. Very interesting. Everyone out here in South Africa knows what he's talking about. He even says it here, friends. I think he's getting a bit more brazen here.
Not otherwise. And so now I'm in this absurd situation where I was born in South Africa but cannot get a license to operate in StarLink because I'm not black.
Well, it looks
Does
like
that
that's
seem
about.
right to
It
you?
looks
Does
like
seem
that.
right to you?
Looks like that's about to change.
I just asked you a question. Please answer. Does that seem right to you?
Well, those rules were designed to bring.
Yes or no?
Those rules were designed to bring about an era of more economic equality in South Africa, and it looks like the government has found a way around those rules for you.
Just so that you know, friends, when it comes to these, just so I'll give you some like economic schooling. This whole woke, you know, cut your genitals off, plug your kids with freaking needles and stuff, and chop off their genitals too. That whole idea, they always support the whole socialism, communism thing, and they have this like this incorrect belief. They go, "Oh, women are underpaid. Oh, this race is underpaid." It's bullshit, friends. They're not underpaid, okay? Because if you ever have a business, okay, if you have two people that can do the exact same job, yes, but one person is like 50% the cost of the other one, are you going to hire the expensive person just because? No. Okay, you hire the cheaper one. So all this stuff out here, it's BS, but it's easily dressed up because not everyone knows this, right? Because most people don't have businesses. They think, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like that guy, because what they do, friends, most people, they're not talking to the equity holder and the company owner. Most people aren't. Most people are talking to the manager, and all they see, the manager, okay, there's a cookie jar, and yeah, maybe the manager, maybe he's an Asian dude. Maybe he's an Asian dude and he's got another Asian friend. You're like, oh, the other Asian dude got the cookie jar. Therefore, like, oh, there's racism and stuff in the workplace. No, man. It's not like that. Like, but it's very easy to just tell the working population that because it's what everyone wants to believe, but it's false. And like, even when you see these bullshit statistical surveys, they go, no, but we removed the skill set. Two people with the exact same jobs and skills and stuff. One person was paid slightly more because of a different race or a different, a different gender, whatever. And I'll say to them, yeah, your survey's wrong then. Your survey is wrong. Your stats are wrong. Obviously, they don't have the same skills. Okay, you think they have the same skills. Obviously, they don't. I'll give you, for example, friends. Okay, I'll just give you a perfect example. Yeah. Let's say you are the owner of a family-friendly strip club. Yeah. And then you get 2 employees. You need someone to work in the pole. One of them is a blonde girl. She's 21. She's got to pay for, a holiday to Greece, right? She's got to take Instagram selfies over there. Okay? You try to tell her you can use AI and Photoshop now. She goes, nah, I've got to go to Greece to take some selfies. Okay. Your other worker, not yet, who's implied, right, sending the resume. It's a fat, hairy dude. He's got hairy nipples. He's got Gaines's hair. You know, the shoulder hair, friends. The shoulder hair, the neck hair. And they come in, okay? Who are you going to hire most likely, okay? They can both dance. Maybe they can both hold a conversation. Obviously, what are you going to do? You're going to hire the woman. All right. Now, I use that example. Why? Because whenever they go on TV, they don't use that example. They always use the men favoring the men example. They're always like, oh, man, the man wants somebody who's confident who can talk to another man and stuff out here. So, man, the dollars are dollars, friends. People don't, like, what do you go spend extra money just because, like a shitload extra money just because, oh, I like this person out here, friends? Like, you know what I mean? No, you don't. Friends, I've had people from my same nationality and race try to rort me all the time. You know what I mean? I know. That's why, trust me, I feel it too. I don't pay for it. Okay, I don't make that same mistake twice. Okay, do you think everyone out here is just swimming with money? Like, yes. You are the same gender as me. Let me pay a 35% premium just because you delivered this pizza to me. It's kind of funny, just these fairy tales that people make up in their heads. But it's easy, man, because it's so easy to control us. You know what button to press. Press the race button. Press the gender button. It's funny. It's funny when you can see it from the outside. Okay, obviously it's not funny for people in there. In some better news though, Elon Musk has confirmed Tesla will have self-driving robo-taxis in the streets of Texas in June. Awesome. So yes, AI super deflationary. That's part of the stock market theme. Why I think stocks haven't topped out yet. I don't think AI is euphoric. I think we haven't even like gotten people really excited about AI. We're excited because we're keeping up to date with it, but it's got to hit like normies. Like we want like a normie thing that make people go, oh crap, this thing's actually going to change the world now. It might have to be like a physical thing that has the internet and is AI, and you're like, oh my gosh, how's this thing talking to me? Like it's learning stuff. You know what I mean? Like imagine a Robo taxi. It's like, let's say it's hooked up to your Twitter. It's hooked up to Twitter and Google, and you can talk to it. And so it translates, and then you talk to it about something. You're like, hey, update me on like crypto news. And it's like, yeah, da-da-da-da. And you're like, oh my gosh. It's bringing internet stuff right into my living room, you know? We got to have that moment now, and that might actually get... We'll see something like that. It might just like get a FOMO fever run for extremely high valuations of stocks. But we're not even close to that yet. Hawk Tuah girlfriends. Remember Hawk Tuah? Haley Welch. Spit on that thing. She said she didn't know how crypto worked after her meme coin crashed 95%. So I just want to remember this. I just want to get these two to remember this, friends. So yeah, coin goes down. All right, we've seen it everywhere. But remember, in crypto, you're trading a network effect. Okay, a network effect, there's different... I want you to think about how long the network effect is going to last. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to see, oh, is this like... I'm trying to do Warren Buffett applications for stocks to crypto, right? That's what makes me a unicorn like you, friends. So we're trying to see how long this network effect can last. Haley Welch, come on. You know what I mean? Everyone thought, wow, she's so popular. But yeah, she's so popular right now. Okay? She's going to have to do a lot of things to have a long-lasting network effect, you know? But then you look at other stuff. You say PulseChain community. There's 3 conferences per year, right? Does Hawk Tuah girl have 3 conferences per year? No, she doesn't. By the way, this thing peaked at 450 million market cap. Do you know PulseChain PLS is 700 million market cap? So this girl, think about, see how stupid the valuation is the market's what they can do. So the market gave a 450 million market cap valuation to a girl who joked about sucking on a lollipop and spitting on a lollipop. Like literally, it almost matched the valuation. Actually, PulseChain went lower than that. Actually, if you check the PulseChain valuation here, PulseChain went half. Yeah, so they went actually the same market cap valuation. You're like, no way. Yeah, wait. That's what markets can do. Okay, so you always got to think about that. So where to from here? This is the 8-hour chart for Bitcoin hanging around here. I obviously want it to go up like you, friends. Just be mindful, you know. Maybe it wants to poke it and then do the freaking channel thing before it goes up. It could do that, or it's just in the middle of doing it now. Because we've been waiting a long time. We just don't want to like, you know, get too skits. But we're just hoping my wife finishes green, man. Others BTC 6 red in a row. Like, man, if you had 6 red monthly candles in a row, dude, you have to be all in. You have to be all in. And, you know, a friendly reminder, friends, please look after your crypto security. Because yesterday I made a video. My friend Azazel lost all of his crypto. I know, it's just, I made a whole video about it. Like, oh man, it breaks my heart. So I don't have the full story about it. We think, so what he said is his Amazon server got compromised. So not your keys, not your coins, okay? For the love of God, do not put your seed phrase, your secret password phrases for your crypto, right? Your 12-word, 24. Do not put that on the internet, man. Do not put that on the internet. Do not put that, because emails get hacked. Amazon servers get hacked. They get hacked, friends, okay? They do get hacked. If you are going to put it on an email, I know some of you do. What you should do is try to maybe put a password in a zip file or something and name it something else, right? Name it something else. Name it like, you know, feet pics or whatever. Whatever it is. Okay? If you were to do that. But you shouldn't even do that anyway. Because what I've actually found is, it broke my heart too. There's only 5 million people using a hardware wallet in the world. But 400 million people have crypto. So it's literally like 1 to 3% of people actually have a hardware wallet. Everyone else, man, you guys have taken some extreme risk. So he put it on the Amazon server. Somehow they hacked the Amazon server. He had all his passwords there. And they'll just... Yeah, man, just... Use a hardware wallet. Use a hardware wallet. I know most of you don't have one. Go get one now. Literally go get one now. Okay, it's there. Get a Trezor or Ledger, whatever, 200, 250 bucks. I know, yeah, it's a bit pricey because you'd rather put that into crypto, but just, you have to get one, man. You have to. You have to. Don't be a victim. Like, subscribe, bell button, or catch you soon.